Hi, I'm Leta Cross-Gray, and I want to tell you my story. When I was a freshman in high school, I started working at our local hospital in the housekeeping department. So the next year I worked as a dishwasher in the kitchen, and then by my senior year I was working as a nurse's aide on the floor in the hospital. After I graduated high school, I went to 1 year of junior college, and then I applied to go to a licensed vocational school in my hometown of Shamrock, Texas. So when I did get into LVN school, I was working full-time on the night shift as a nurse's aide. So I was at the hospital 16 hours a day for a full year. So I got my start as an LVN working in a large hospital on an orthopedic floor. I really enjoyed that job. I moved down south, got married, had kids, life happens. So while working as an LVN for 10 years, I fell into my passion of home health nursing. And it was during that time that I really wanted to go back to school. So I had to figure out a way that I could go back to school and continue working full-time to help support our family. And so I ran across a program, then it was called York Regents. And it was a LVN to RN associate's degree program. Many people now know it as Excelsior University. So I figured out I could get out of some of the courses if I would just take a test or CLEP out. And so I scheduled my first test, was all excited, went and took the test, and actually failed it by 1 point. It was very disappointing. So I went to the internet and searched for anybody in the same position that I was in. I found some resources online, was able to buy some study aids, some non-traditional means to help me pass the test, and I was able to clip out of 3 of the prerequisites, and then I was ready for my clinical. Well, if you've ever heard of all the horror stories from taking your clinicals through Excelsior University, I can attest that they are absolutely true. My first test I went to take, I was excited, and I failed it on my second clinical rotation. I was devastated, and I had to figure out a way to pass this test because I really wanted to get my RN degree. Again, I went to the internet, I found some study aids and purchased those, and was able to practice the critical elements from the suggestions and the guidance of other folks that I found on online forums. I went back and took my clinical exam as soon as I could and passed that exam with absolutely no repeats. And according to the Excelsior teachers there, they said there's been very few people that actually pass it without having to repeat any aspect of the test. Well, then I worked for about 16 years as an RN with an associate's degree, continued in home health. So working in home health as long as I did, I actually got to do a lot of different things, everything you can imagine. But one of my favorite things that I did was being able to convert a multi-agency office from paper to electronic medical records. And that just brought a flame in me that I really wanted to do more of that. I love technology so much that I went back to online school for an information technology degree. And it was during one of my classes that an instructor told me, didn't you know that they was having a Nursing Informatics school come out soon? And when he said that, I said, bye, I'm going to do Nursing Informatics because that's great. So I knew the American Nursing Association had a certification for Nursing Informatics, and I really wanted to get that. And so I started looking at the requirements for being able to get the certificate, and I qualified on every aspect except having a bachelor's degree. So while I was waiting for a Nursing Informatics program to pop up, I found a certificate program, an online certificate program through the Health Information Technology Workforce. And so I took that online program. So at the completion of the workforce program, the 6-month program, I was able to apply for the exam to become credentialed with the program that I studied. And the program I studied was the clinician practitioner role. And so I applied for the exam and I failed it. I failed it once, I failed it twice, and the third time was a charm. I finally passed that certification exam the third time and was able to have the credentials of the certified health technology specialist with the clinician practitioner role. It was during that time that I found Walden University's Nursing Informatics program. They had one for RN to MSN bridge program, and I signed up for it as soon as I found it. It took me 3 years to finish that program, and I graduated with my master's in nursing informatics. So what did I do next? You got it. I went and applied for my nursing informatics certificate exam through the ANCC. I took that exam. No surprise here, I failed it by very few points. So a few months later, the same year that I graduated with my master's degree, I was able to retake the certification exam through ANCC and pass the exam to become board certified in nursing informatics. And that is something that I'm very proud to be able to accomplish. Okay, during the time I was finishing my master's degree, I was working with Texas Tech University with one of the regional extension centers. Regional extension centers help transform the nation in its transformation from paper to electronic medical records, and I got to be a part of that for Central Texas. So that was pretty exciting and very rewarding to actually see the changes in healthcare workflow and increase patient safety. Now, 4 years later, I am now a doctoral candidate with the University of Texas in Houston in a specialty that I have grown to love, nursing informatics. When I started my RN journey over 23 years ago, I had no idea this is where I would end up. It's more than about just the degree. It's about how much of an impact you can make on others. There is a common theme in my story. Success is not about your failures, and I've had plenty of them on my journey. Success is about overcoming the challenges you may have in your journey and getting up when you fall and striving on why you're doing what you're doing. Another common theme about my story is I continued my educational journey throughout my life story, working full-time, raising kids, going through a divorce, and being a single mom, then getting remarried, and now an empty nest syndrome. Life happens to all of us. Making an impact is your choice. Use the non-traditional resources to your advantage to propel your career forward and merge your passions to become the person you are meant to be. Furthering your education will not only make an impact on your job or your work environment, it will give you personal growth and insights that you never thought would be part of your journey. My initial passion of nursing care and being with a patient, being able to help a patient heal and go through their journey of healing, has evolved into being able to use the skills and the knowledge that I have in nursing informatics to help not just one patient, but many patients, and not just one nurse or one clinician, but many clinicians at one time with the skill sets that I have and being able to develop workflows and care for so many people. Good luck in your journey. And just remember, you're one step away from achieving what you want to achieve. Don't let failure defeat you.